Welcome to the third module of the RiverTools Maintenance Training Kit. This module is preceded by a background lesson on the science of watersheds and an introduction to conservation landscaping. Here we explore a more complex planted option, rain gardens. Commonly called Best Management Practices or BMPs, rain gardens and bioretention cells essentially mean the same thing. We will learn what is a planted BMP, how it works, and how to care for them. In this module, you will learn what is a rain garden, what are the various parts of a rain garden, and how do you take care of a rain garden. What is a rain garden? A rain garden is a planted depression that collects rainwater runoff from roofs, parking lots, grass, and other surfaces. In this schoolyard, the brown mulch circles are rain gardens, right after they were planted. After the plants grow in a rain garden, they blend into the landscape and serve as a garden area. Its main function is to retain and treat or clean collected stormwater, and the flowers are a part of the school amenities. As I mentioned before, basically speaking, a rain garden and a bioretention cell is the same thing. In Washington, D.C., both are regulated and inspected. Rain gardens installed outside of the district might be smaller in size and not regulated or inspected. Bioretention cells are an engineered item, whereas a rain garden might be considered a more user-friendly and is more popular amongst homeowners and the public. For the rest of this PowerPoint, we will refer to both as rain gardens. Rain gardens use the chemical, biological, and physical properties of soils, plants, and microbes to remove pollutants from stormwater. Rain gardens' benefits include decreasing and slowing down runoff, removing pollution, lowering temperatures, allowing for water to replenish the groundwater supplies, and improving the landscape both aesthetically and ecologically. Why are rain gardens important for schools? Rain gardens embed living systems in schoolyards that can be utilized for environmental education, inspire interest in nature, promote stewardship, and build community pride and involvement. When a rain garden is installed in a schoolyard, it gives students the opportunity to learn about watershed health, water quality, the hydrologic cycle, and many other biological functions. Since rain gardens are planted with native plants, rain gardens are living classrooms where students can see functioning urban ecosystems, native plant communities, and abundant wildlife habitat. Most importantly, rain gardens are beautiful and bring nature into our DC schools. So what is the anatomy of a rain garden? A rain garden from the surface might look like a natural landscape, but they have actually been constructed and engineered beneath the soil. Starting from the bottom, there is a space filled with gravel to store and infiltrate water. In some cases, there is an underdrain, which takes excess water to a storm sewer or releases the excess water downhill. Above the gravel base, there is a specially mixed sandy soil called bioretention soil mix. And above that is 2 to 3 inches of mulch. An area where stormwater can collect above the mulch is called the ponding depth, or the pond. The rain garden is then filled with native plants to provide wildlife habitat, cools temperatures, and adds beauty. There are 4 structures you might find in a rain garden. A cleanout is a 4-inch or larger PVC pipe that has a screw top that can be removed to clean out the underdrain if it is clogged. An observation well is another 4-inch or larger PVC pipe that can be opened to see if the water is infiltrating or draining out of the bottom of the underdrain. An overflow device is located above the ponding depth, so that excess water can go into the grate and won't overflow the actual rain garden. In the case of the picture in the upper right-hand corner, you can see that the ponding depth is roughly 4 to 6 inches based on the amount of exposed green pipe above the soil level or the mulch level. In the lower right-hand corner, you can see a photograph of a forebay or pre-treatment bay. This is an area that allows sediment to drop out before it actually enters the rain garden. If you have a forebay or pre-treatment bay, it makes maintenance much easier. These are some other structures that you might find in a rain garden. An inlet device can simply be a pipe that flows directly into the rain garden, as seen on the lower right-hand side. The other two pictures of inlet devices are coupled with a concrete pad that are designed once again to collect sediment and trash in the very front of the rain garden, so it makes it easier for maintenance. The sediment will drop out as it slows before it goes into the rain garden, and a flat shovel can be used to remove the sediment or trash as needed. On the lower right-hand corner, you can also see a series of rocks or riverjack stones. These actually function as riprap and help to slow down velocity and the scurrying and erosive capacity of water flowing into the rain garden. This is a typical school parking lot during the school day, filled with cars. When it rains, all the water runs off Excel Academy's parking lot into a storm drain and directly into a nearby stream. So let's take a look at Excel Academy to see how we applied rain gardens and other BMPs to help clean pollutants out of the water before it enters a stream. If we take a bird's eye view of the parking lot, there are two main drainage areas: the parking lot on the upper right side and the asphalt playground. In this case, there were two rain gardens installed that captured most of the stormwater runoff, removes sediments, and improves water quality, and minimizes the amount of water going into the storm sewer systems and eventually into the streams. The two rain gardens are shown by the golden ovals. All of the stormwater from the parking lot goes into the rain garden when it is raining. The rain garden receives not just water and sediments, but also all the toxins from cars, like leaking oil and heavy metals from brake pads. The use of a pre-treatment bay combined with heavily planted native grasses at the end of the curb cut will allow for easier maintenance. Trash and sediment will drop out at the edge of the rain garden because the grasses actually create a physical barrier. This rain garden captures all the stormwater from the playground surface during a rain event. The ponding depth is roughly 8 inches deep, and the water will soak into the bioretention soil within 48 hours after it rains. This is only 3 months after the rain garden was planted, and it is functioning really well. Before installing a rain garden, this was a dying grassy space off of the parking lot. Now, in less than a year, the playground rain garden is filled with native grasses, perennial shrubs, and trees, creating an ecologically rich garden for everyone to enjoy and a living laboratory for the students of Excel Academy. So how do you take care of rain gardens, and what tools will you need to do the maintenance required? You can review the Conservation Landscaping Learning module for more details, but here is the maintenance schedule to get your garden established for the first 2 or 3 years. Again, we're going to use that catchy phrase, the 3 W's: water, weed, and watch. Right after you plant the plants, for 2 weeks, water every day. For the first 3 months, water 2 to 3 times a week. and water each plant down deep into the roots, not just the leaves. It's not where they need the water. They need it in the roots. Remember, weed frequently and often, particularly early on in the establishment of the rain garden. I like to think of you want to weed when the weeds and the plants are young. Make sure to look for invasive species and watch to see if the plants need additional water or if the plants are beginning to fail. Again, the 3 W's: water, weed, and watch. In an ongoing monthly maintenance schedule for plantings is the same, and the rain garden. But it's really important to remember that bioretention soil mix used in rain gardens is 80% sand in Washington, D.C. So these soils drain really quickly. It's critical to water during the drought months, perhaps 2 or more times during the first 2 or 3 years. So what are some of the tools that you might need to go out and inspect and correct rain gardens? You will want to have a broom, rake, and a flashlight too. Essentially have a flat shovel, a garden trowel, a soil core tool, an adjustable wrench or plumber's wrench, and a crowbar. The maintenance for a rain garden doesn't just stop with plant care, but also requires you to inspect rain garden structures, clean out sediment, trash, and observe the rain garden overall and its structures to see if there are any defects or problem areas, such as unexpected erosion. In this schedule, there is a column for possible maintenance issues, what to do about it, and where you will have to inspect, the associated task required, and the frequency in which you need to complete the task. A common long-term problem for rain gardens are sediment buildups. Over time, sediment deposits will be found on rain garden surfaces. The sediment will clog up the upper layer of the soil and not allow rainwater to infiltrate. Therefore, the sediment layer needs to be removed with a flat shovel. It can appear as a sandy or clay sediment layer. Broken structures in rain gardens are also a problem. If an observation well or cleanout has a broken top, dirt, leaves, and other debris will go in and clog the underdrain up. It's important to fix the problem early on because repairing an underdrain is a much more involved process. When the rainwater is blocked or more than anticipated in the design, water can create its own channel or rill. Watch for blowouts or other erosion in the rain garden, in and around the rain garden. In the picture in the upper right-hand corner, water started flowing from an unexpected direction, which created a rill on the edge of the rain garden. If this is the case, contact OSSI or DOEE to get the issue resolved. The success of rain gardens depends on you. Your care and watchful eye will ensure that rain gardens are a successful BMP that's applied to our schoolyards and the District of Columbia's waterways. Congratulations, you have completed the 3rd RiverTools module.